Okay, welcome to another episode of Black Coffee. I'm your host, John Brown. Today are here with James Cooper. James, what state are you from?
I'm from Oklahoma, so I'm in the state of
Oklahoma.
Oklahoma.
Okay, right on.
Yes, sir.
Nice. Okay, yeah, so we're here to talk about whatever questions you may have, burning questions in relationship to your child, trying to get your child to the next level. So, let's start off by, you're in Oklahoma. How old is your child? Male, female? What we're talking about?
She's female, 7 years old. She'll be
Okay.
8 in October.
Okay.
So she absolutely says she loves gymnastics. But we've had her in several other sports, of course, trying to figure everything out. And she has some natural talents in dance and karate that were just absolutely unbelievable, right?
Okay.
But you throw her into gymnastics, and I'm like, baby girl, you can't do a cartwheel right now. And I'm like, I don't know how you can't do a cartwheel, but she is extremely persistent and dedicated towards it. So I don't want to discourage that, but I also want to encourage some of her other natural talents that she has that she may
Right.
eventually develop an affinity towards. So I'm like, man,
Right.
it's
I
and
understand
then
your
I've been
situation. Yeah.
yeah.
And you've been what? Sorry.
I've been listening to your podcast and it just resonates with me all the things that you have been saying.
Okay.
So I'm like, man, I need to hear from the man
Hey,
himself.
let's chop it up. Here's the thing. What I'm going to say to you, and my advice is going to be all only strictly pertains to trying to make her the best in the world. Now, number two, I don't know anything about that. Number
Right.
one, in the world. So
Hmm.
some people may hear these things that I'm going to suggest, and they may go against them. No, that's not right. That's because they've never been number one at anything, and they probably don't care if their child is number one. They're happy with number
Right.
two, number three. Okay. So first
Yeah.
thing, let's start from the top. So she's 7 years old, and
Hmm.
how tall are you? Your height. What's your height?
6 foot,
And your wife? How tall is she?
5'4".
Okay. So reason I'm asking is,
Yeah.
I think in most cases, not every case, the mom dictates the height.
Okay.
So if that's my daughter in that situation, I would let her, 7 years old, I would let her play with dance, karate, whatever you want to do.
Right.
But by the time she's 8, I'll start thinking about, well, what hill do we want to live and die on? Do we want to do karate? Do we want to do gymnastics? Do we want to do softball, dance, whatever it is? But my suggestion, no question, is if I was my daughter, she's only got two choices. That's tennis or golf. Because
Okay.
if you waste time with track, every now and then there's exceptions to the rule. Okay? Now, I'm not talking about the exception, I'm talking about the rule. In general, most people don't make a lot of money running track and field. Okay?
Right.
They get some gold medals, it's not even gold.
True.
And a lot of athletes still have a job or they get a little bit of money, nothing to sustain themselves. But what if they have, there's people out there who has 5 gold medals. 5, 4,
Hmm.
3 gold medals. And they have nothing now. Now they're out of the sport. Now they're retired and they have nothing because it's bad parenting. First of all, don't give your daughter no choices. Don't look for what she likes. None of that stuff. Stop
Right.
all that right now. She
Okay.
does what you tell her to do. If she woke up
Yeah.
today and said, "Dad, I don't want to go to school," well, there's no discussion with you. I'm sure she has to go to
Absolutely.
school. Okay, most kids don't want to go to school, but we make them go to school. What's my point? It's okay to make your kids do things. That's called good parenting. If she's
Yeah.
7 years old, she's too young to make an assessment on what's better for for her in the long term, in the long journey. I mean, in life, she can't make that assessment. She's too young. It's up to mom and dad to make that decision for her. So what I would do is this. I would always instill in my kids, hey boys, I'm talking about when they're like 3, 4, and 5. I will line them up, say, look, just want you to know, we're training to get to the NFL. We're not training to do anything else. I enforce that on the regular. Always telling them our aim is to get to the NFL. So if it's my daughter, I'm putting her in tennis. Based on your height and your wife, I'm putting her in tennis. And like Serena Williams' dad did, you just get a damn freaking racket and hit it against a damn wall, or get some else to hit balls. It's just hitting balls. You can figure it out. You just hit more balls than the next person. It ain't that difficult. But what if she becomes a world champion, a 5-time world champion? She can make it. You got to believe in her. But take choice away from her right now. Don't give her a choice at all. But don't how they say it. Don't yell at her, or it's time to get up and go to practice. And if you don't practice today, you're not going to be able to go to your friend's house. None of that stuff. When she goes to school, for an example, you never say to her, hey, you need to get up right now and get ready for school. If you don't get ready for school, there's going to be a problem. You don't have a problem with her going to school because she knows it's her routine. You want to make sure if you put her into tennis, it's her routine. Yeah. She never talks back to you because it's what you taught her to do, and it's her norm. So make sure you do it like that, you know?
Yeah. All right. I definitely like the sound of that.
What other question you got?
Tennis.
Oh, you did?
Well, yes. So that's that's a natural fit, man. So,
that's easy,
man.
See, you got. I want you to believe in her. See, a lot of these parents don't believe in their kids, and so since they don't believe in them, they may hold them back, or they'll say, "Well, just find something you like, do something that you have fun with." That's all. Excuse my language, but that's bullshit. You know, you like money, and she's too young to know what she likes right now. Look at my sons. I made my son play football. I could have told him, "Well, let's find out what you love." And what is that? That's ridiculous, stupid. Don't do that. So you have to guide her, and I would strongly suggest put her in tennis, but you got to be prepared. It's the hill she must live and die on, and it's a second job for you and your wife. It's a second job, no question about it. So be prepared. It's a second job. Be prepared for everyone to throw arrows at you. Talk bad about you. Say you shouldn't do that. You're pushing it too hard. You're making a mistake. Be ready for all that. Just let it roll off like water on your back and just keep going. Don't stop.
Gotcha. All right. So regardless of her interest or anything like that, just push her towards that. Right?
Yes.
Any recommendations on developing a solid foundation for that, or any type of nutritional stuff that you did with your kids?
Good question.
I mean, those are some things that I've been also interested in. So I've been trying to get her to eat healthy, but I want to make sure that I make some adjustments to her diet as well.
Well, be careful.
She knows and she knows that's coming. So
yes,
I've already told her.
Be careful with healthy, because to me, healthy is. See, because I was a bodybuilder, we ate clean. Let's use the word clean to eliminate body fat. You know, to get more vascular, to be more muscular. We eat a lot of chicken, a lot of fish, brown rice, a lot of cardio, 2 hours a day worth of cardio. We did a lot of this stuff 12 weeks before a contest, depending on your body type. But when you do that, I call it clean. You may call it healthy. When you do that, you got to be careful because it weakens her. Yeah, that makes sense?
Right.
So now, as a young girl, she needs a lot of protein. Protein is important. Now, she needs more protein than you daily because she's growing. Most parents don't understand that. That's why I developed my protein. So I developed cane protein for my kids. If you are out there and you're interested in what it is we have, it's called CANE, caneprotein.com, and you can
Cane
get the
protein.
protein. Why did I do that?
Okay.
Because I went to the school when my kids were like 7, 8, 9, and I looked at what they were eating. I go, oh my God, this lunch, and I'm not there. I'm working during the day. I'm like, whoa, this is not good. So I had some friends that I knew who had company formulate the protein for me, and I started giving it to my kids to make sure they're getting the right amount of protein. And again, the word protein is a Greek word, and it means most important. It's the most important thing. Next thing I'm telling you, you want to ask about nutrition and training. Sleep. Let's talk about sleep. I never wake my kids up early if I could stop it from, like, they go to school early in the morning when they're little kids, so we had to do that. But even sometimes my kids would wake up, maybe one of them looks more tired than usual. I go, are you tired? And if they say yes, I go, you know what? You stay home today. You go back to bed. Because kids grow in their sleep and they develop in their sleep. Yeah. So if you're constantly waking them up early, this is a problem. So if you see your child and she's just super tired, you know your kid. Leave her, let her stay at home. That day ain't gonna ever affect her life, the rest of her life. So I will let them stay home, let them sleep. In terms of working out, if I had a daughter that was 7 years old, for sure she'll be doing push-ups, pull-ups. Now, most kids can't do pull-ups, but I would assist her in pull-ups. Yeah. She'll be doing dips, and I'll teach her how to do bench press, even if it's just with a PVC pipe or a pipe from Home Depot, just to teach her form. So she would most definitely start learning how to get stronger than the other kids. And I would reinforce it on the daily. You know why we're doing this? Because you're going to be the #1 tennis player in the world. Now, the funny thing is I saw King Richard, and he was doing the same thing I'm telling you in that movie. I don't know if it's true, but he was telling them all the time what it is they're doing. We're going to be the best tennis players on the planet. And that's all you got to do. If you tell her that every day, she'll believe that.
Yeah.
You see, because you're the bigger her hero. If you say that, she's going to think, okay, that's what I'm going to do because my dad said it. And you keep going. Next you know, she's the best in the world. And it's because of you and your wife. Are you married?
Yes.
Okay, because it's going to take both of you guys. It's going to take both of you guys to do this. It's a second job. It's a lot of work. So let her eat. I like a lot of red meat when the kids are young. I like a lot of red meat because there's a lot of protein, good protein in it. You got to have protein. She got to be stronger than the other kids. If she's doing tennis, say, I don't know, a year later after you've been working with her, she goes to a tournament, you want to make sure she's faster than all the other kids and she's stronger. Then she'll hit the ball harder.
Right.
I mean, it's one, two, three.
Right.
Very simple.
Very simple. That sounds straightforward. All right. Well, I got to get my wife on board with being too nice and always wanting to do what she likes. So I got to make some adjustments there.
Oh, you got to have a sit down with her when she was on this call because I was at the golf range the other day and I was hitting balls and there was another gentleman sitting next to me. He says, hey, we were talking about his grandkids. He goes, well, right now we're just trying to fight, let him do different sports and find out what it is he likes. Oh, my God. Oh, enough with that. Enough with that. Look, your kids can choose. The choices your kids have between chocolate, ice cream, or vanilla. That's it. Take choice away. That's bad parenting. Right. And you got to be able to, willing to drive her to, I don't care if it's 2 hours from your house, to go do some tennis lessons by a coach or something. And you just got to do it. Now, if let's say tennis. To me, you're running around, you got a racket, you're hitting the ball over a damn net. It ain't that complicated. It ain't that difficult. Right. So I would take my daughter, I would go online and look at the best tennis players in the world, look at their training regimen, and I would just copy it. Because that's where you save a lot of money. Just go out there and get, like King Richard did, get some balls, go to a park, a public place, and just hit balls with her. And there's a little machine they have too, I saw. I would buy one of the machines and let it hit balls all day long. If the best tennis player is hitting 1,000 balls, we'll hit 1,020 balls, and you just keep doing it. And I'm telling you right now, you'll be surprised and you'll be amazed. She will make it. She will make it.
Okay.
You just got to believe in her and put her on the right path.
Gotcha. Put her on that path.
Eating, sleeping, training. It's all it is. It's very simple. How's her grades?
All right. Grades and stuff like that are good. Academically, she's sound. So we're not worried about her at all academically. Now, as far as sleeping, when you talk about that, she is a night owl. So she'll stay up all night. And I'm the same way as you. I try to let her sleep I'll let her sleep in the car while we're driving to school and stuff like that. Or
so
whatever,
wait.
You know.
Night owl. What time is she going to bed?
Well, I've gotten it down to closer to 9:30-ish. But before, she was trying to stay up till like 10, 11 o'clock.
What is she doing while she's up?
She'll play, or sometimes she occasionally watches a show, but she doesn't really watch that many shows.
Wait. Let's start off. Normally, whoa. You saying she has a TV in her bedroom?
No. She'll do that in the living room or in the game room.
So if you tell her to go to bed, she doesn't go?
No, she'll go when you tell her to go to bed. But
does she have a cell phone?
No, she doesn't have a cell phone.
Okay, so I don't quite understand. If I tell my kids to go to bed and they go in the room and they turn the light off, at some point they just fall asleep.
Yeah. Okay.
So I'm trying to figure out, is her light on in her room when she goes to bed?
She does like to have a light on. She's still afraid to sleep with the lights and stuff like that all the way off. And then, I've been working with my wife on coddling her as well.
Okay, where's the light? Well, let's back up.
Yeah.
I gotta get this bedroom understood. So, is it a light switch on the wall or is it an actual lamp?
It's on the wall.
So you leave the light on in her room when she can't sleep because she says she's afraid of the dark.
Yeah.
Okay.
We've tried night lights and stuff like that, and she'll come right back up out of the room like that's not bright enough.
Okay, that means she's telling you what to do. You got to switch that. You need to sit down with her and say, "Look, we got there's a new sheriff in town. Okay, here's what we're doing.
Yeah.
I'll put a little light on in the room, a little pink light in the wall socket, and that's all you're getting. Take your butt to sleep. You got to be hard with her. You can't play around with her. See, you giving her from talking to you, you're giving her too much choice. And I wouldn't give her a cell phone until she's like 16.
Yeah. Well, I told her she doesn't get one until she's 17, so that's perfect.
Yeah, that's even better. Don't give her she's gonna be crying, her girlfriends and all that. But see, when they're at home with their cell phone, they're not concentrating. See, let's start over. Let's start from the top. To be the number one in the world, not number two, number one in the world, you don't have a cell phone. And she'll grow up like a lot of people that's older without one and never had a problem with it. All those games like computer games, all that, you got to strip all that away. You got to have different rules in your house. Now, you don't. How do I say this? I never really yelled at my kids or had to really whoop my kids. They may got 2 whoopings or something in their whole life. I never had problems with my kids. Never. It's almost like if I asked you, do you have problems with your daughter going to school, you would say no.
Right.
She never fight you and say, I'm not going to school, right?
No.
Okay.
Right. No.
It's because of the approach you take.
Right. Okay.
And she knows there's no nonsense and it's not negotiable. She knows that. You set the stage like, look, you're going to school. And this is the school you're going to, and you're doing your work, and she's like, well, ain't no negotiating that. But she knows she can negotiate the light in the room. You got to strip all that out. You got to start over, and you better start now because she's gonna be 8. Yeah. Once you get to 9, she ain't gonna listen no more. You got to start all over. You got to sit down with your wife and start from scratch. Look, and sit your daughter down and say, look, here's what we're gonna do. You're gonna be the best tennis player in the world. Here's our program. And the program consists of you going to bed when we tell you, eating what we tell you. James, I used to
Right.
sit like
Yes,
this.
sir.
I used to stand at the dinner table, watch my sons eat. And after they
Yeah.
ate, I made sure they drink their protein drink and a big glass of water. I stood there until they finished their food. I didn't go outside. No, I
Right.
stood at the kitchen like a prison guard.
Oh, wow.
This is
Yeah.
yeah. This is
So,
real. What I'm telling you. It's not like
hmm
hi. Uh, here's some chicken, and I'll see you later. Okay, go to bed. Stop. Go to bed. Turn your
Right.
light. No. There's no.
Oh, no.
This not a game. It's not a joke. You got to get serious, but not in a dogmatic way. Please understand that. There's a
Right.
way to talk to your child, like,
hmm
and to set the precedence, like you would do, like you did in school for her school. There's a way to do it with working out too. There's no need to yell. No need to get angry. It'll become her norm, and she'll just do it, and it'll just flow. It'll
Right.
flow because you set the table. You said this is what we're gonna do in our house. I don't know what they're doing across the street. We don't care, but this is what we're doing in our house. And then once she finishes
Right.
her work, she can go play with her friends.
Yeah.
It's real simple, but you got to tighten your screws. I can see now you got a lot of loose screws in your house. You got to tighten it up. You got to sit down and talk to your wife.
Yes, sir.
All that her,
Yeah.
trying to control stuff. No, that's over. No, but if you
Right.
kindly tell her, here's what we're gonna do, sweetheart. You're gonna be the number one tennis player in the world. You ever heard of Serena Williams? Let me put a video on. Let me show you these girls. Show it to her. And you got to talk to her every
Right.
day. Here's what we're going to do. You're going to be
Yeah.
the best. You're going to be the best. And she'll start
Yeah.
believing it. She'll start believing she'll do it.
Right.
So why not her? When she's of age,
Why not?
why not her? She has 2 legs and 2
Yeah.
arms, right?
Absolutely.
And she got
Yes,
10
she
toes and
does.
10 fingers. Well, why not? Why not
Yep.
her? Why not her? The only difference
I
is
agree.
the only difference between her and the girl that's gonna be the champion when she's of age is the stuff I'm telling you the father and mother's doing right now. That's the only difference.
Right.
So there's no way, no reason your daughter shouldn't be next. Trust me on that.
Right.
100% I believe that. Now, if she was trying to be, I don't know, a WNBA basketball player, I mean, she may not be that tall, but I still think she can do it
Right.
if she, put in the work because, in my opinion, most of the guys and girls who play basketball, the girls actually shoot better than the guys, I think. Most of them can't shoot
Yeah.
the doggone ball. They can't get the ball in the net. So I don't quite understand that if you're a professional, put the work in. So I believe
Right.
your daughter can make it. And it doesn't make sense for me to be on the West Coast. I don't even know your daughter. And I believe in her more than I can't believe in her more than you.
Yeah.
There's something wrong there. Because you may not, you're a, what do they call it? So let me ask you another question about you and your wife.
Okay.
How high did you ever play sports?
Yes.
How far did you go?
Yeah. I play professional in Europe basketball.
Okay. And
So,
your wife?
athletically, no. She just did gymnastics, I think, through high school.
Okay. So you have some experience of high level competition. So you
Yeah.
understand that. So you're not new to this. It's something that's familiar to you. So the only difference is basketball is a team sport and tennis is an individual sport. So you have to ramp things up even more. See, in football and
Right.
basketball, you got other guys that help you, and you can hide when you're tired. You can take a couple minutes off or seconds off. When in the individual
Right.
sport, you can't take time off. So that's the only difference that I see. But you've done a lot. You went a long ways. So you need to understand. Well, man, sorry, you got me thinking about a lot of stuff now. So I got to start over here. Let me ask about your. So you played in Europe. So that means to me you played
Yeah.
in college. You played in high school. Did your parents
Yeah.
help you, or did you do it on your own?
I actually switched over. I was a highly competitive tennis player. Got frustrated with it, and then committed to basketball and learned most of it all on my own.
Okay.
So just
All
spent
right.
time being out there,
Yes, sir.
dedicated. Spent all these extra individual, I mean, 3 or 4 hours a day, like you're talking
Yes, sir.
about in the gym. I didn't need anybody else to tell me how many shots I was going to shoot that day. I just developed a plan every single time I went into the gym from the
Okay.
time I was probably in
Ah, this is
like
important.
eighth grade,
Oh man,
seventh, eighth grade
love
on.
it, love it. This is important
So,
information. Parents, listen to what we're talking about here. My man James just described that he didn't need no one. He went into the gym by himself and put up the shots. Now James is the exception. He's not the rule. So I know a lot of guys in James' position that played in the NFL, and they'll look at their sons and go, "If I did it by myself, why can't you do it?" There's a
right.
problem. There's a problem. You are the
Hmm.
exception.
Yeah.
So we're not talking about the exception. We're talking about the rule. In general, kids are not like that. So don't expect
Right.
your daughter to be like that. See, I was like
Hmm.
you. No one helped me. My mom, my dad, no one helped me in bodybuilding. I did everything myself. But I knew that, I don't know how I knew it, but I knew that that wasn't good for my sons. I knew I would have to be there. I would have to push them. I would have to guide them. I would have to show them the way. I would have to drive them. I have to keep driving them, pushing them, but not in an ugly way, in a psychological way. You know, hey, we're gonna do this today. We're gonna be the greatest. You guys look good. Or if you didn't look good, hey, we gotta work on that. That didn't really come out the way we wanted it to, but it's okay because we'll fix it. We'll do some more work. I would talk to them like that. You know, not beat them up. What's
Right.
wrong with you? Are you stupid? Why can't you do this and that? You should know how to. No, it was. I came from another direction. So you got to be careful because you did it on your own. But don't expect your daughter to be like you, and you got to make sure you push her. And you probably can look at
Right.
things and go, "Man, I went pretty far, but why didn't I get to the NBA? Maybe if I'd done a little more work." And so your daughter won't know this stuff. So please,
Right.
don't expect her to be you. Don't do that. That's a
Right.
big mistake. Big mistake. Glad you
Yeah.
said that. A lot of parents need to hear that.
Yeah. Well, and then that's what one of the things I've been trying to avoid. So I think you got the nail on the head. And that's probably why I'm softer on some things than I should
Yes.
be. And I know I'm a
Yes.
little bit softer than I
Yes.
should be. And I'm like, man, I'm so when you're saying tighten up, I'm like, all right, I appreciate that full permission because I'm like,
You gotta tighten up
woo, son.
because what you did was amazing by yourself. You know, you push
Right.
yourself. You're self motivated. But not everybody's like that.
Yeah.
And don't expect her to be like that. At some point, how to say it? It's like a boulder. It's like pushing a boulder up a hill. You're pushing it and you're pushing that thing all day and all night. But when it gets to the top of the hill, it'll roll down by itself.
Hmm.
Right? But right now you're gonna have
Right.
to push that boulder. Now you got to the top on your own. You pushed it yourself. You see? But you can't expect her to do that.
Hmm.
That's a problem. So make sure you as a father are always instilling greatness in her. I told my sons on the
Yeah.
daily, line up, son, sit, listen to me, and I would give them lessons all the time, all the time. Hey, you guys, we went to. I'll give you some examples. We were at a
Right.
Centennial High School. My kids were like, I don't know, 7, 8, 9. So we went to a practice or a game or something. And we got on the field, and there were some kids on the field, on the team, laughing, joking around. I told my son, line up. Look at those kids over there. You see them laughing and joking? He goes, yeah, Papa. I said, do they have football cleats on? He goes, yeah. I said, let me explain to you. Those 3 guys will never make it. They'll never make it. Because they don't understand. Once you set foot on the field, there's no joking and laughing no more. This is all about work, and it's not fun. We're trying to dominate people. We're trying to destroy every human being with 2 legs on the planet. That's the goal, and you got to make sure she understands that. And she doesn't want to
Yeah.
she doesn't want to be competitive. She wants to dominate.
Right.
Let me say it again.
Yeah.
Not competitive, dominate. If she learns how to dominate, she makes it. And she should be unhappy when she doesn't dominate. If she barely wins,
Now I
she
have a
should be
question
unhappy.
for you.
Yeah.
I have a question for you. Now, did you instill that domination mentality into your kids? Did they naturally have that?
I
Or
instilled it.
because I feel like sometimes she's not there.
Yeah,
And
because
so I
she
pass, I'm like,
well,
Yeah,
Look, it's like
wanting to.
that's like saying,
I can tell she has a competitive nature, but she doesn't push it.
yeah. That's like saying, that's because you're not instilling that concept in her, that mentality. That's a mentality you have to instill in your
Yeah,
children. How do you do that? By telling them when we
right.
go out here, look, we play Pop Warner football, and
Hmm.
well, let's call it youth football, however what they call it. Uh,
Right.
when we're on defense, I would tell the team, if the other team gets a first down, it's a problem.
Right.
Is that right, Coach? Yes. They get a first down, timeout. What the hell's going on here? They got a first down? How did they get a first down? Somebody's not doing their job. You need to dominate them. Don't let them get a first down. So a touchdown's out of the question. But that's how you put that mindset. That's how you develop that mindset. And then you start thinking, I told my sons they would come home with an A in their class. They would show it to me. I go, don't show me that. Why, Papa? I said, hey, any fool can make an A. I don't want to see an A. I want to see A plus. And they go, you don't understand. Only way I can get A plus, they have to have extra
Right.
credit. If there's no extra credit, I can't get A plus. I said, well, don't show me an A, because any fool can make an A. So, fast forward, my
Right.
son was maybe 7 years old, and we're sitting down at a practice, and we were talking to another family. I said, how's your son doing? He says, doing great. How's his grades? Oh, great. He has good grades, man. He's making all A's. 7-year-old Amon Ra turned to that boy, and his dad said, you're only making A's? Said that out loud to him at 7 years old. You only making A's?
Wow.
And the father looked at me. I said, I'll explain that to you later. But that shows you how I had him wired. Because he believed it.
Right.
See? He didn't know any better.
Believed it.
Yeah, he's too young to
Yeah.
know the difference.
Right.
So I'm saying at a young age,
Yeah.
you instill these things in your child, whatever you want her mentality to be, it'll become that.
Right.
You got to give it a killer instinct. Like Kobe called it the Mamba.
Yeah.
You got to give it that Mamba
The
instinct.
Mamba. Right.
And you got to start now, tonight, because you're out of time. She's already 7. She's getting old.
Yeah.
You got to think as a father, she's getting old. Can't be screwing around. It's time to get on a good foot. Let's get this thing. Let's get this thing going. And I heard from I was in Green Bay, and I went to a guy who had he was trying to teach people how to be professional tennis players. So I went to his facility, and he had a lot of kids there that homeschool. He said, if you're trying to be the number one tennis player in the world, you don't go to school. You do homeschool because you got to practice a lot.
Right.
So just throw that out at you. So be prepared for that. But there's no way. What's your daughter's name?
Avery.
Avery. There's no way Avery shouldn't be the next one. Only way she doesn't make it is because you let her down. It's not up to Avery. It's up to James.
Yeah.
It's not up to Avery. It's up to James to tell her, to push her, give her the right stuff, give her the right medicine, put the right taste in her mouth, the right mentality, the mama mentality. Is up to James. It's not up to Avery. Avery's going to do everything she's supposed to do. She's a little girl. She's supposed to tell you, I can't sleep with the light on. That's her job. I don't want to go to bed now. That's her job. But you gotta say, whoa, Avery, come here. We gotta start over, sweetheart. You can't do that. This is what you gotta do.
Right.
You want to be the number one. You're gonna be the number one in the world. So to be number one, you gotta go to bed earlier. And you just keep putting that in her head, and she'll believe it. She'll believe it.
Right. She's gonna be number one in the world. I appreciate you.
And you're gonna be like sitting there going, "Wow, I can't believe that actually happened." And you're not gonna be surprised because you're gonna put the work in. You're gonna say, "All the work we put in, there's no question she's the best in the world. All the work we put in, no question she's number one." You just gotta believe in her. You done took the torch. You went to Europe. You played in Europe. Now it's time for you to give it pass to your daughter and say, look, we're going to go to the next level. we're going to change everything.
Absolutely.
Everything's going to change for your
Absolutely.
entire family because that little Ava.
Yep.
Just teach her the right things, get her mindset where she's not trying to have fun. I hate when I hear that. Oh, how was it? Well, just go have fun.
Right.
It's nothing fun about kicking somebody's ass. You understand that? Ain't no fun in that.
Right.
So I don't understand that
Yep.
weak mentality. That's not Mamba. I don't like use Kobe's thing. I
Right.
got to come up with my own little saying. You know?
Come on with your own.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. But he's, for now, lack of better words, you got to have that Mamba mentality. You got to destroy everybody. Everything gets destroyed. No mercy on
Right.
nobody. If I was a head coach and I'm playing football and we can score 200, I'm scoring 200. If you don't like it, don't come to the school. Don't play us. Get better.
Right.
We got to beat up on somebody.
Yep.
We got to beat up on somebody.
Yeah.
And if you're in front of us, we beating up on you. That's just how it works.
Right.
No prisoners, under no circumstances.
No persons, no circumstance.
No,
Gotcha.
and your daughter for sure can be the next one. Only way she won't, again, is because you let her down. There's no such thing as lazy kids, as just lazy parents. Don't be a lazy parent.
Right.
Push her the way she needs to be pushed.
Yeah.
Where's your wife at? She
I'm all
there?
in.
Where's your wife?
I'm all in. No, well, I told her that we were doing this, and then they invited some people over to jump in the pool, and so they were all in the pool. So
Oh, okay,
I'm like, let me
okay.
walk down to the park
Yeah.
and do this instead of them coming in and interrupting us in the middle, because I didn't know where
Well,
the direction and stuff like
well,
that
at
would
least
go.
when,
But I'm gonna be passing this on to her.
and at least when he airs it,
and-
she can look at it.
Yeah,
What's your wife's name?
absolutely. Colleen.
Colleen, listen to me. You got to get on the page. Not that you're not on the same page with your husband, but let's tighten the screws up. You got to tighten the screws up. When I was in the garage, Colleen, with my sons at 5, 6, and 7 years old, my wife never came in the garage and said, "Don't do that. You're doing too much." Not that you're saying that, but you got to be all in with it. It takes mom and dad to make this thing happen. It takes mom and dad.
Right.
She can't do it by herself.
Mm-hmm.
She's a little girl. What does she know? She knows nothing. So I'm trying to develop good parents, A1 parents.
Mm-hmm.
Why not her?
Right.
No, on a serious level, she has 10 toes, 10 fingers. She's from Earth. Everybody put their pants on one leg at a time. There's no supermen in the world, so why not her? Why not? It's all about the workload.
Why not?
It's the workload, James.
Right.
And don't cut the corners on the work. Don't cut corners on the work. If the workload looks like this, keep it like that. Don't make it like that. You got to make sure you go online.
Right.
Who's the best tennis player in the world? What was their training regimen? Do that plus a little more,
Right.
so you can be better than them.
Mm-hmm.
Period.
Yeah.
So that's real.
That's right.
Real talk, real energy. That's the truth right there.
That's real talk.
That's the truth. And when you started training, you asked about training. Be careful with training, because
Okay.
how do I say this? Today, you have bad information. These guys are going to school. The teacher who's never done anything is teaching them how to train people, and they get a certificate or something. And then you walk into the gym and say, "I need a trainer for my daughter." And if you haven't done it, you don't know. You trust this guy. But if they're in there doing medicine balls, kettlebells, and they're not putting strain on your daughter's muscle, it's not good. She has to be uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Not medicine balls bouncing on your right, left, ropes, those stupid ropes. What is that rope for? Do you know what that's for even? If anybody knows what that rope is for.
No, I've never understood that.
Okay, I have a question for all the people listening. If you happen to know what that stupid rope is, what it's for, please send me a DM and tell me, because it's the most ridiculous, stupid thing I've ever seen. And second, why aren't people bench pressing with weights on each end of the bar and chains? What are the chains for? Like, is that for extra weight? Put more weight on it. It's totally stupid. I don't know what people are doing today. But she has to. You got to make sure. You got to call me again when she gets older because you got to make sure
Right.
there's tension on the muscle. There's some workouts that my son did and I on YouTube. Now you can look at the movements and you may see us doing curls, kind of rocking with curls, and you think, you shouldn't rock. No, you should rock because to get stronger, you got to rock until you get stronger. Then you can control it. But to get that heavy weight up, you got to rock. So be careful as you migrate through life, and you got these strength and conditioning because you got to be strong. The stronger she is, faster things are going to move. And the faster she can hit the ball.
Mm-hmm.
And they won't be able to return her serve because she's too strong. She can't be a skinny mini.
Right.
And don't do what everyone else is doing because they're all doing that. Oh, don't do that. Don't lift all those weights. It's going to make you muscle bound. There's no such thing as muscle bound. Don't believe that. There's no such thing. Even guys gymnastic guys are lifting weights now. So she has to start lifting weights. And I would start right now doing push-ups, pull-ups, and basic stuff.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And a little bar, you said, for the bench press.
Yeah, you can get a pipe bar right now, PVC pipe. It doesn't weigh much. Just to teach her form, right? And then if she's strong enough, get a pipe bar. And not weights. And then once she does that, say, okay, you understand the form, how to do curls, and just doing that. Push-ups. Because see, if she does, I'll use a lot of her body weight because she can't get hurt, right? Push-ups, pull-ups, and make her do it like as many as she can. If she can only do three, and then stop, take a break, do three more until she completes 20 or whatever, and increase it as she gets older. Because you got to get her stronger.
Yeah.
But get her mind strong too. Yeah. That's why you tell her what you're trying to accomplish on the regular to get her mind strong. Train her mind.
Right.
Because the subconscious mind doesn't know the difference between facts and fiction. It accepts everything as fact. So as much as you can put in her subconscious mind is better for her.
Right.
There's no question she can make it. No question.
I'll do that.
I'm telling you right now, you should be happy and thank God you contacted me when she's 7. By the time she's 9, it's too late.
Yeah.
It could be too late. And take them choices away. Stop doing all the other stupid sports. If there's no money at the end of the rainbow, don't let her do it. When I talk about millions, if she can't get millions, why are you even doing it?
Don't do it.
That's a waste of time.
Why are you doing it?
How many NBA, WNBA, how many WNBA girls, as talented as they are, if they had the parent to push them into tennis, how many of them could have been world champions? A lot of them.
Right.
There's no question.
Absolutely.
They're some of the best athletes on the planet. But the parenting, if you want to do basketball, soccer, softball because you want to get a scholarship to go to a university so you can be a medical doctor, that's different. You're taking advantage of that. But if you're doing it because you want to be the best in the world at a particular sport or your kids, please put them in something where if they make it, they get paid. Believe them. Believe in them.
Right.
Don't shortchange them.
And believe in them all the way.
All the way, doggy. All the way.
Okay. All the way. All right. I want to go back to nutrition real quick one more time. So you said it's called Cane.com?
Yeah, Cane. CANE.
CANE.
CANE.com. Okay. Cane protein. And what I like about my protein is it's good quality. If you go into a store, you may see a 3-pound bag for $50, $80, $20, $15. They vary in price. In general, when you see something that's very inexpensive because it has a lot of fillers in it, it's not a lot of protein, a good source of protein. So you pay for what you get when it comes to protein. So no one's charging you $15 for protein when it should be charging you $50. There's a reason they charge you that. So you get what you pay for in terms of protein and stuff like that.
Right.
But if you're trying to make her the best in the world,
Yes,
I'm talking about
sir.
number one on the planet, and I'm not talking about number two. If you're doing that, you got to
Number two.
like if that was my daughter, whatever we ate last night for dinner, we eat in the mornings. We don't eat no more pancakes. You can still eat pancakes. Don't get me wrong, and potato
Yeah.
chips. I'm not against that. I'm not against ice cream. I like eating dirty. I believe in eating dirty.
Right.
But the main thing is
Yeah.
in the mornings, because she just slept and then her body is starving for nutrients, I would give her what you had last night in the morning. That way she's
Okay.
going to be stronger.
Yeah.
But if you give her cereal, oatmeal, and then she goes to school for 3 hours, then they give her some trash on top of that, she pretty much didn't eat anything all day.
Right.
It's not going to work. You got to
Yeah.
feed her what she
Right.
ate last night in the mornings. That's what she eats in the morning. And then
Right.
you make sure,
Yeah.
because if not, she's turned to a damn refugee.
Mm-hmm.
She's not eating. She's
Gotcha.
not eating. Yeah,
Very true.
yeah.
Not eat. Yeah.
And I make my kids
Yeah.
take protein in the morning because they got their food. That's okay. Take a protein drink in the morning because at least when you get to school, they're going to give you whatever they give you. It's not worth much, but at least you're not suffering. You got your nutrients that you need. Make sure
Yeah.
she's.
Now I heard you.
Go
Yeah.
ahead.
I heard you say that you're not a big fan of track, right?
Yeah.
But what type of cardio conditioning would you recommend other than? I mean, is it different than running or just
I would say this:
what
if
type
you're a
of
wrestler,
cardio
if you're a
activity?
wrestler, the best cardio you need is
Right.
wrestling. Do a lot of wrestling.
Right.
If you're a boxer, I know they run a lot, but I would do a lot of boxing. If I'm a tennis player,
Right.
to get in shape, I'll run. I'll chase that ball around because that's a.
Right.
You can run. I'm sure it's okay to run to get
Yeah.
condition, but I would lean more towards doing extra work on the tennis court, running back and forth, stopping and going, because that's what you're going to be doing anyway. So whatever
Right.
event you're going to
Okay.
participate in, I would do that event and run back and forth, stop, move, swing, because it's a different conditioning. So the
Right.
conditioning part, I wouldn't worry about. I mean, you don't need to be running track because think about it.
Yeah.
If you run track, it means you're on a track team. It takes 3
Mm-hmm.
months or 4 months out of your life. She can't screw around. Number one in the world ain't doing that. Her competitors, okay.
Yeah. Not doing it.
Here's what I believe. 95% of the people on earth are average men and women and children. 95%. You got to get your daughter into the 5%.
Right.
And that 5% ain't running track. They ain't screwing around. That 5% is putting work in. That 5%, mom and dad is
Right.
driving them all over the place, but putting in that real work. Now, you can't.
Right.
Oh, man, I'm glad I'm talking to you. As I talk, I start thinking. Give me a minute. I construct my words. I believe, I'm talking about coaches, Pop Warner, high school, college. No coach can prepare you to be the top in the world. Let me say that again. No coach can prepare you to be the top in the world because they don't have enough time to
Right.
dedicate to you. It's not because they're not good coaches. They don't have time. They have 30 kids on their team, 40 kids. They don't have time to teach you, to make you the best,
Right.
right? They only got hour and a half
Mm-hmm.
a day and 50 kids. Well, you're not going to learn anything.
Mm-hmm.
You need personal trainers that's willing to go day and night with your daughter. Now, that costs a lot of money. That's where you come in. So I would videotape the sessions, and then I would go to a park around the corner, and we do the same thing. I reinforce that day and night. Go back to this guy once a
Right.
month, and I'll reinforce it. But that's mom
Yeah.
and dad. The coach cannot send your daughter to the top of the mountain. No way possible. A coach cannot do it. Only
Right.
you can do it.
Yeah.
That's why I say you can't. It's a second job. There's no way a coach can do this. No way, in general, there's no way for a teacher to teach her kids to be smart.
Yeah.
She has too many people in her classrooms. They're just on the chalkboard just talking and writing and doing all that shit. And I'm like, when I was in school, I'm like, I didn't understand half of that. And then they move on to the next subject. So I'm not going to raise my hand and go, excuse me, Miss Smith, I didn't understand that. And make myself look like embarrass myself. I'm not going to do that. That makes sense? So most kids are not going to say anything. And then the teachers just move you on. Okay, you're in first grade, move them all to second grade, but you didn't learn anything. Same thing with training. If you're in a group setting, they'll pass you on to you being freshman. Okay, now next year she's junior varsity. But she's not junior varsity. Because you have to teach her all the things. Coach cannot do it. He can't do it. No way possible.
Right.
Only mom and dad can do that.
Yeah.
You can't go and say, okay, I'm going to pay this guy unless he's a special guy and he's willing to sleep in your house day and night for 15 to 18 years. That's the only way that can happen. Because he got to be there every second of the day, like it's his child. That makes sense, right? So since he ain't doing that,
it makes sense.
That's you and mom. You guys got to get her there.
Right.
The coach can only teach you his plan, his concept, his strategies, but not make your daughter or your son better. You got to remember that as a parent. It's not that the coaches don't know what they're doing. They don't have time. They don't have time.
Right.
Man, I gave you some good nuggets here, bro. Yeah. I gave you some good stuff.
Man, you gave me some great nuggets.
That's really good stuff.
And you gave me some gold over here.
That's real talk right there. And anybody listening to me saying, oh, no, don't listen to him. Well, if they say don't listen to me, that's because they ain't never did nothing. Take time out to ask them, hey, okay, I hear what you're saying. You disagree with him. What have you done? Have you been to the mountaintop?
Right.
I've been to the mountaintop 5 times. I know how to get there. And what I did with my 3 sons, my 3 sons should have all made it to the NFL. If Osiris didn't get hurt, he'd have made it too. Easily. No problem, he'd have made it. So if you do it once, okay, it's cute, it's luck. Man, you do it 2 times, 3 times, it's systematic. It's systematic.
Right. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Well, that's one of the reasons why I started following you, because I'm like, well, and a lot of what you said all just completely resonates with me.
It's the truth.
It's a lot of my same personal mentality, but I don't know that, like you said, I haven't been implementing or trying to push too hard on utilizing my own personality on it. But you've given me some golden nuggets to use, not the yelling and screaming and just being calm and just setting that expectation, because that's what I had set my expectation for myself mentally, So just got to drive that expectation inside of her and get her to believe that that's her own expectation.
I'm sorry to interrupt. Sorry to interrupt you, but you made me think of something. Naturally, I have a rough voice. I know I have a rough voice.
Yeah.
So one day, a buddy of mine was at my house, and I was saying something to my kids, and I changed my voice. He goes, "Why you change your voice?" I said, "Because my voice is rough, and it'll sound like I'm yelling at them." And so even because of that, I was conscious of my voice and the way it came off, and I would change it when I talked to them. So it didn't intimidate them. And they didn't feel like I was yelling at them. So it always came off as support, positive, love, respect. I took choices away, but the way I attacked it was from a different space, if that makes sense. So just make sure there's no, I never, of course I yelled at my kids a couple of times when they pissed me off, but 99.9% of the time, I never had to yell at them. With sports, almost nothing. We just did what we had to do. Get off the field, okay, let me evaluate you guys. You did good. You didn't do good in that. We got to work on that. This was good, what you did, Armand. Osiris, this what you did, that was good. Equanimus, this what you did, that was good. This wasn't good, but we'll work on it. And that was it. That's how we dealt with it. And we went to work. Let's work on that. And then the next day, hey, you got much better. You're
Right.
much better now. Keep that up. And that's how it is.
Yep. All right.
All
That's
right.
how it
So
is.
now I got to get my butt out of
Let's
here.
do it.
But James, it's a pleasure talking to you, man. And
Okay.
if you have, I'm sure as you navigate through life and this journey, you may have more questions. So, you know, if you do it, just hit Osiris up and we can jump back on again.
Okay.
Because things
I
always,
definitely
things
will.
always
I'm sure
change.
that I will. Yeah. Things are
Yes,
always
sir.
changing.
Yes, sir.
So there's always adjustments. But I appreciate this conversation, man. I appreciate you taking the time with me, John. You know, I appreciate what you're doing because I think a
Thank
lot of
you.
people need to know the
And
same
at
thing
some
that you're talking
point,
about.
not now, but
You know,
in the future, in the near future, we're going to start charging for these calls. So right now, y'all getting this juice for free. You understand what I'm
yeah,
saying? So take advantage of
man.
that. All
Yeah,
right, doggy. All
yes,
right,
sir.
well,
All right,
do
man.
the damn thing and don't screw around. And I know you're not. And I can't wait to see the results of
Yeah,
your daughter. I can't wait to see her 5 years from now. I can't wait.